Hi everyone, welcome to English 2327. That is American literature, and that's from the beginnings of the U.S. Into the Civil War. Okay, I'm Dr. Raft. I'm your professor. I go by Dr. E. It's just a little bit easier since my last name has an unnecessary letter that's not pronounced. So Dr. E is fine. Dr. Raft is fine. I want to take this time in the video to walk you through the syllabus just to make sure that you understand the expectations, and you can feel free to let me know if you have any questions, okay? So I'm going to pull that up on the screen right now, and it is posted on D2L. I do want you to take a moment to grab a pen or pencil and some paper, because I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions throughout the video that I want you to then send me your responses to via email. So it's kind of a let's go through this introductory materials quiz. Okay, so pause me for a second, run and get that information, or I'm sorry, those materials, and come on back. So you'll see on the front page of the syllabus that there's just my general information, right? You know me as your instructor. We are online. I want you to note my email address, but I want you to make sure that you're using D2L to communicate with me. If you send me an email from your personal email address, it often will go through our weird, funky firewall, and it can take several days to get delivered if it's delivered at all. So the best way and the quickest way to communicate via email is with D2L. I'll post a separate video walking you through some D2L and our course on D2L. So if you're not familiar with that, don't worry, it'll come, okay? And if you are familiar with D2L, you know that it can be kind of clunky, so maybe watching that video is going to be helpful. And questions will be included in that video as well, so just a heads up. My office hours will be Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., and that's going to be in the instant messages feature. It's just a chat. But you can also set up a time to meet with me outside of that, and I'll go through that in just a little bit, okay? And then there's other information here that's pretty helpful to the course. I do want you to note that the Norton Anthology of American Literature is our required course text. I have the book somewhere. Let me show it to you. So this is the Norton Anthology, right? So it's beginnings to 1865. Make sure that you're getting the shorter 9th edition. You need this immediately, so it may be useful if you don't have it already to purchase the online version of the text, just so that you have it instantly, and you can use all the resources that Norton is offering. If you purchased a copy of the text, you should also have access to the online version, just in case. Okay, so that's our course text, and the information in the ISBN number is here, so you can make sure that you have the correct one. We have some general information that is relevant to students, but note that some of these resources aren't necessarily available since our campus is closed, but we have counselors, and we have different organizations that can be of assistance to you if you need that. So just let me know if you need anything, and I can try to connect you to the people, whether it's something you need for our course or outside. If something is impacting your progress of the course, just let me know. Stay in communication with me. I'm happy to help. There's counseling and advising, so here is some of that information should you need that. And then there's information about writing assistance. We do have some online tutoring available, so keep that in mind, whether it's for this class or others, okay? I do want to take a moment to walk through the policies of the course, especially the first policy that's related to respect, because it's something that's really important to reiterate, especially for an online course. For a face-to-face class, yes, respect is absolutely necessary. It is key to creating a comfortable learning space. It's key to you feeling like your ideas are important and worth sharing. But in an online course, it's that much more important that we keep respect in mind, because we're not holding a synchronous course, right? I'm not requiring that we meet at specific times to have discussions over web meetings or anything like that. Everything takes place outside of that. We're not in the moment seeing your eye contact and your body language or any of that information that really gives us an idea of your tone. So when you're typing responses, especially if you're responding to one another, please make sure to consider that, and to be as polite in your response as possible, and to just always keep in mind that we're in this together, and we're trying to have these conversations even though we're not face to face, okay? I do want you to note that I have those visit hours, so I talked about that before, but it's reiterated here. If you want to meet outside of the instant message feature, then we can always set up a WebEx meeting, which is just, it's like Zoom, but it's what the Lone Star College system likes to use instead of Zoom. Or we can touch base over the phone. We just need to set that up, so go ahead and make sure that you email me so we can set up a time. Okay, and that leads us to email and communication. So number one question for when you email me, all the answers to these various questions is going to be, what's the best way to get in touch with me? And again, that's going to be via D2L email. It comes right to me. But I do want you to note that you need to include some information for me. I don't know you just yet. I don't recognize your names just yet. I will. So let me know what class you're in, right? Include a "Hey Dr. E" or "Dear Dr. E" to start it off, right? Don't just jump right into the information. I receive a lot of emails from students, and I would say about 50% of them are just confusing because I don't have some of that information. So do me a kindness and include that. And for emailing in academia in general, when you're emailing your professors, include some of that information. It's, you know, you want to be as professional as possible. I'm pretty lenient with some things. So a "Hey Dr. E" is fine. You don't have to be very formal about "Dear Dr. Raft." That's okay. I want you to note that it can take up to 48 hours for me to respond. I try to check my email pretty regularly, but not over the weekends. I may check it once or twice, so just keep that in mind. Don't panic if you don't hear back from me immediately, because I'm just not going to check my email as often over the weekend, and I kind of shut everything down at about 5 p.m. But it's going to vary, right? So it can take a while for me to get back to you. If you have a specific question about an assignment, please don't wait till the last minute, okay? The second question that you need to write a response about or an answer to is about late work. I don't accept late work. We are moving much too quickly in a summer session for late work to start to play a role. So just in your mind, know that late work is just something that I don't accept. If there's an emergency situation, then we need to set up a time to talk during office hours, likely not in the instant messages if it's something that we really need to discuss. But generally, late work is just something I don't accept. Attendance is something that is counted. It's an online course and that can feel kind of funky, but I generally just go in and kind of look and see, has everybody logged in this week? And that's your attendance credit. I want you to know for this class or for others that professors can see when you log in. We can see when you access different parts of the D2L course. I'm not trying to tell you this to be creepy. I'm trying to tell you this just so that you know, if you claim to a different professor, I know you would never do this in my class, if you claim to a different professor that you tried to submit this assignment at such and such time, we can go in and see that. So just keep that in mind, okay? So attendance and participation are counted. The next question that I want you to answer in your email to me is about this plagiarism section. I want you to put my plagiarism policy into your own words. I'm going to read it for you here, but put it into your own words. It says, the first instance of plagiarism, and it's whether it's intended or not, 99 times out of 100, it's something that is not intentional, but unfortunately it still counts. That first instance is going to result in a 0 for the assignment. If it happens again, it means a failing grade in the class, and that information is going to be submitted to our Vice President of Instruction. These kinds of things can follow you throughout your academic career, so just do your best to really understand what plagiarism means, what the different types of plagiarism can develop in a class. So I've included this link here, so take a few moments to just kind of address that, look at that, make sure you understand everything, and let me know if you have any questions. The assignments are broken down here, so I want you to note that for attendance, that's 100 points. We're going to be on a point system. It's just easier for you to see your grade progress throughout the summer session based on points versus percentage. So 100 points, that's the easiest grade ever. Just log in and do your work. That's 100 points right there. 400 points or 40% is going to be reading responses, journal writing. That's a bulk of what we're going to do every week, right? Then there's the paper portfolio. Instead of writing a huge research paper, we're going to every week or so tackle some ideas, use research to support our ideas in some discussion posts, essentially. You'll then compile those discussion posts. You'll peer review them, just for ideas, revisions, edits. So that's a grade. And then you'll submit your final portfolio, and that's going to be 100 points right here. Okay, so that 300 points is broken down in different ways. And then we'll end the semester with the multimedia project, and this is a really fun kind of conclusion. It's just a creative way for you to explore an idea, a theme, a character, something that we come across in our time together, and that can be videos or PowerPoints. I'm going to have assignment sheets and videos for all of these major assignments, so don't worry too much right now. I just want you to see how your grades are broken down. And this section just goes through what I've just kind of talked through. So when you have a moment, really read through this and let me know if you have any questions. I also want you to note if you see any errors. I've looked at this so many times, but I know there are probably issues. So if you see ways that the points aren't adding up or the due dates are off, just kind of let me know so I can make those revisions and post the most updated version. I want to walk through the syllabus schedule because mine looks a little funky probably compared to other classes if you're taking summer sessions or other classes you've taken before. So I want you to not have any confusion about the way this is structured. On the left-hand side is the date. You'll notice that typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the main posts, the main days where prompts will be shown and responses are due. But then there's also going to be Sundays. So think of our week as Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then additionally Sundays. Okay, it's a lot of work, but we're cramming a whole like 16-week course into 5 weeks. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to overload you. I'm just trying to squeeze all of that into a summer session. So you'll see on Monday, that's when these videos will be posted, and then you'll have the prompt for your writing journal that's due on Wednesday, and then you'll have a prompt that's posted for the reading response. And that's going to be based on pages 3 through 25 of your course text. That's an introduction just to overall the time period and some of the different developments and the history. So that gives us a really good contextual information for the things that we'll read throughout the course. So start reading that now. That's why I posted in D2L last week and I said, you got to get your hands on your book, okay? Because 3 through 25 is going to be due by Friday. So on Wednesday, you'll note that your writing journal discussion post is due. All due times are going to be 11:59 p.m., so just keep that in mind. I encourage you to post earlier than that. Please do not wait until the last minute because that's when D2L will absolutely hate you and won't let you post for whatever reason. So earlier is always better. I will then post your paper topic discussion. I don't want to throw everything out there on Monday. I want you to kind of digest those 2 main prompts for the week, and then I'll throw that paper topic in there. Your email assignment with the answers to all the questions and all the videos for this week is going to be due by Wednesday, so make sure you watch all the videos. Your reading response post is going to be due on Friday, and that's based on your reading. And then I also on Friday, I want you to go in and make sure that you've responded to 2 of your colleagues from the Wednesday journal discussion. So go in, read what they have shared, respond to them. And I also need you as the original author to go in and if somebody has responded to you, say, hey, thanks, I appreciate that. You don't have to go into extreme detail in responding to every person who has reacted to your original post, but we want to create a conversation and a discussion, and that's the way we're going to do it. So make sure you're taking the time to go back and see if anybody responded to you, okay? And then on Sunday, that paper topic discussion post is going to be due by 11:59 p.m. Okay, again, you can submit earlier than that. I welcome that. And then you'll always see what you need to do for next week. So for next week, you have some reading Native American Eloquence, Negotiation, and Resistance. That's from pages 475 to 486. You need to have that read by Wednesday. And then you need to read Native Americans Removal and Resistance, and that's pages 631 to 651, and that's by Friday. I tried to load the heavy readings are due later in the week, and the shorter readings are due by that Wednesday time frame. It doesn't always work out that way, but for the most part, it should. I want you to note that a focus of our course is going to definitely be reading those voices that are often overlooked. You know, we probably recognize and know a lot of the authors from this time period, recognize them by name if we haven't already read them, but I want us to also focus on the voices again that maybe aren't talked about so much, and I think that's important. So we'll be reading a lot of women, a lot of Native American men and women, a lot of African American or Black men and women. They aren't American. Nobody's American at this point yet. So just keep some of these things in mind, and let me know if you have any questions or notice anything that doesn't add up with the syllabus. Okay, take care, and on to the next video.